Greetings, tubies. Welcome back to my channel, Wandering Nomad. I'm out here taking a morning stroll today, wandering down the trail. This is Saunders Springs beside me. Beautiful little stream. I'm about a quarter of a mile downstream of the cave that feeds these waters. This is one of my favorite trails. It leads back here to a small fishing lake that's off the beaten path. Most people that come here don't even realize that it's here. A lot of people miss this little trail. It's not very well marked. So I've only ever crossed paths with a hiker back here one time. Across the stream from where I'm standing right now is the Hidden Trail. It's actually named the Hidden Trail, so this may well be part of it. If this isn't part of the Hidden Trail, it should be, because it's more hidden than the Hidden Trail. So I've went off trail back here, which I believe is actually a no-no, but it's just too tempting. It's really peaceful back here. You get away from all of the other hikers who are on the more popular and easier to hike trails. So I've hiked about 2 or 3 hours off of the trail back here. Found the biggest patch of golden seal I've ever found in my life. I know it didn't just grow naturally like that. I came back a couple of times to check on it, and the last time I came back it had been harvested. So I don't know if somebody's out here growing it, or if it was maybe a Boy Scouts project. They have a lot of projects that go on here. Ooh, it's gonna be tricky to get across without getting muddy. So that wasn't too bad. Yeah, it's just a beautiful day, and I'm thankful that I'm able to get out here and enjoy it. A lot of people don't have that option that live in the city, or who have medical conditions that keep them from being able to get out in nature. So it's always something to be thankful for if we just count our blessings. Speaking of which, reading 2 or 3 books right now. I have a habit of reading 2 or 3 books at the same time. I'm sure I'm not the only one with that habit. But right now I'm reading a classic that I've always wanted to read, Clan of the Cave Bear. And it's about a little human child who gets taken in by a clan of Neanderthals, the Clan of the Cave Bear. I'll give you a little view of the ridgeline there. I've hiked that ridgeline several times. There's no trail up there, but it's a lovely little hike. I found a stream up there, and I just followed it for a couple of hours, using it as my trail guide. Can't believe how green the grass is, and it's never turned yellow. It's never died out. It's been this green all winter time. So, but yeah, I'm reading Clan of the Cave Bear, and it's a great book. Suggest it to anybody who likes reading. But the real book I wanted to mention is another book I've been wanting to read for a long time, and Shelly loaned it to me a few days ago. So I'm working my way through it right now, and it is In the Spirit of Crazy Horse. Now this is where the trail ends on this side, so you just have to kind of pick your way through. Bunch of minnows down there. hiding in the roots. There's some big ones. That one there looks like it's 3 or 4 inches long. So anyway, in the spirit of Crazy Horse, so far it is going back to the early to mid 1800s and just touching on subjects here and there. I'm sure it's going to get into the case of Leonard Peltier and Wounded Knee and the shooting that happened in 1975. It's preluding to the American Indian movement and what happened with them, how they got their start, and how they got a name for being violent radicals, and how Leonard was basically framed and put in prison. Now this book came out in the 80s originally, the early 80s. So I'm sure that the author had started working on the research probably sometime in the late 70s, because it's a pretty massive book, and the amount of thorough details and research that went into it couldn't have been done quickly. I've taken courses through a school that was started by the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Institute of American Indian Art, and the amount of knowledge that I gained in 6 months is incredible. And you know, what I've read in this book so far is spot on, and just goes far beyond what I learned in my semester at the native school. So it's pretty impressive so far, but it's also a sad story, and a true story, a story that a lot of Americans, especially Caucasian, don't want to acknowledge. It's a story of genocide and of complete unfairness towards the native people, and the dismantling of their nations and of their language. You know, we stole their culture from them. And I say we, but we weren't here for it. None of us were here for it, but it was our ancestors. And just by refusing to acknowledge the wrong done, we might as well hold some of that blood and responsibility on our own hands. So, great book. I'll probably make a little vlog entry. Raccoon tracks. I'll probably make a little vlog entry about it when I do finish it, but I'll be taking my time with it, so that won't be anytime soon. I like to kind of steep in the information acquired in those types of books. So, Planet of the Cave Bear, fictional book, but it's based on, you know, true historical facts and things that we know about the Neanderthals and the early humans. So great book if you're into primitive culture or prehistory or any of that kind of thing. Spirit of Crazy Horse if you're into the Native American culture, Native American causes. I highly suggest you checking that book out as well. Another great book that I've read in the past is The Heart of Everything That Is. I probably mispronounced that title, but that's basically what it is. If you do a quick Google search on that, I'm sure that you'll find the correct title. I read it a couple of years ago, and it's basically a book about Red Cloud, a famous leader of the Lakota people. You know, he was a great man, a great leader. Even though he was never technically a chief, he accomplished more for his people than several chiefs combined. And he led the war efforts against the white man and the U.S. military in Sioux territory in the 1860s. And then he also, knowing what was best for his people, led them to the reservation in the late 1800s. And you know, if he hadn't done that, then all of his people would have fought until the bitter end, and they would have been annihilated and erased off of the face of the earth, like so many other native nations were. There were over 700 native nations between North and South America when the Catholics and later the white folks, the Spaniards and then the Caucasians, Europeans showed up. And there's not nearly half of those native nations left here today. So I tend to think that Red Cloud did what was right. He fought a hard, bloody battle as long as he could, and he had the wisdom to do what was right, to reserve his people, to preserve his people. So yeah, check out the book In the Spirit of Crazy Horse. It's a really good book. I can't wait to finish it and let y'all know how I feel about it. So yeah, I'm just out here kind of talking, going a little nature hike this morning. Thought I would turn the camera on and make a little video real quick. So I see it's going on about 12 minutes. I'm going to make my way across this creek and to the hidden trail and up through the hills.